Russian President Vladimir Putin sent a direct message to the president. This is released by the Kremlin. And the director of the World Health Organization started his briefing today, wishing well for the couples.
An intense effort is underway to identify those who had contact with the president, First Lady, or Hope Hicks.
The White House tonight furiously trying to stop the virus's spread, racing to identify a constellation of contacts who recently interacted with President Trump, the First Lady, or confidant Hope Hicks. The president's chief of staff with this acknowledgement.
I fully expect that as this virus continues to go on, other people in the White House will certainly have a positive test result.
The three traveling together aboard Air Force One Tuesday night with an entourage of aides, allies, and family members flying to the debate site in Cleveland. Still, the web could be wide, including Secret Service agents, flight crew members, and White House staffers, as well as outside advisors like Chris Christie, who helped prepare the president for his debate. Contact tracers are now reviewing a series of recent events.
Very tough news for the president, the first lady, the president's family, and of course the nation itself here as the president is tested positive for the coronavirus.
President Trump making a surprise appearance outside Walter Reed National Military Medical Center just a short time ago. This is the moment, one clearly designed for the cameras, that the president left the hospital in his motorcade. He has been at Walter Reed since Friday being treated for coronavirus. And his motorcade just went directly past a gathering of his supporters who were outside Walter Reed. The president waving to them. And now we are told he's back inside the hospital in the presidential suite there. A few minutes before this very unexpected appearance, President Trump released a video on Twitter praising his doctors and his medical staff and teasing that he had a surprise for people gathered outside.
We know that the president's oxygen levels dipped below 94% both on Friday and yesterday on Saturday as well, that he required supplemental oxygen. We know that the president is on a trio of pretty significant drugs. He is both on this antibody cocktail, this experimental treatment from Regeneron. He is on the antiviral remdesivir, and he is also taking a steroid, which is typically reserved for patients with the most severe of symptoms.
Welcome back. Some breaking news. NBC News has learned just moments ago that a group of military officials, potentially including some very senior Pentagon officials, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, are quarantining after being exposed to the coronavirus. The Pentagon says in a statement that a top official who met with military leaders recently tested positive, and that's why they are doing this quarantine. These are workers in essentially hazmat suits. They did to do a deep disinfection of parts of the West Wing last night, including the White House briefing room. Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany and two of her deputies are among the 15 people tied to the White House or the Trump campaign who have tested positive in the last week.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on this Tuesday night. There is a lot to get to this evening, beginning with the outbreak connected to the White House, now growing tonight, reaching the Pentagon. The Joint Chiefs of Staff, America's top military leaders, all of them but one, are now in quarantine after being exposed to the virus, after a Coast Guard admiral tested positive after attending an event at the White House. Those images today from inside the White House, workers in protective suits disinfecting the White House briefing room and the press office. And now the outbreak, linked to the White House, is still growing. A military aide who carries the so-called nuclear football for the president, now testing positive. A presidential valet testing positive as well. And of course, at the Pentagon, that admiral from the Coast Guard, positive too.
The president's carefully choreographed return from the Walter Reed Medical Center, even as his doctors say he is not out of the woods. Joint Chiefs of Staff forced to quarantine after Admiral Charles Ray, the Vice Commandant of the Coast Guard, tested positive today. It's impossible to say where he was infected, but Admiral Ray attended an event at the White House a week ago Sunday. A Pentagon spokesman says even though the military leadership now must work from home,
the Lord is seeking the attention of the nations.
Le Seigneur cherche l'attention des nations avec leurs leaders et il demande la repentance. Se détourner du péché. Regardez l'Église aux États-Unis d'Amérique, combien pourrie elle est.
totally apostate.
complètement apostate.
There is no visitation of God.
Il n'y a pas de visitation de Dieu.
Locked in there. They are not aware that that situation spells doom.
Et ils sont tous enfermés là. Ils ne savent pas que cette situation attire le malheur.
They have locked everybody in there. They are headed to hell with them.
Ils ont enfermé tout le monde là. Ils vont en enfer avec eux. Ils ne leur permettent pas d'entrer.
They have commercialized the gospel.
Ils ont commercialisé l'évangile. Le péché sexuel est normal. La mondanité est entrée dans l'église. Le mensonge et les faux apôtres, les faux prophètes écrivant des livres et moissonnant de l'argent. Mais un jour, cela prendra fin. Un jour, vous réalisez que cet argent ne peut pas entrer dans les cieux. Un jour, aux États-Unis d'Amérique, vous réaliserez que l'argent ne peut pas acheter l'éternité pour vous. J'ai averti les États-Unis d'Amérique. Repentez-vous. Repentez-vous et détournez-vous du péché. Recevez Christ Jésus comme Seigneur et Sauveur. Je lis le livre de Matthieu. Je lis Matthieu chapitre 5, verset 8. Il dit, bénis, heureux sont ceux qui ont le cœur pur, car ils verront Dieu. Heureux ceux qui ont le cœur pur, car ils verront Dieu. Alors ceci, c'est au sujet de la pureté du cœur. C'est ce que le Seigneur dit. Quand il cherche l'Église enflammée, et qu'il réprimande l'Église dans la tiédeur. Isaïe 6, verset 3, il dit, et ils se parlaient l'un à l'autre. Ils se disaient l'un à l'autre, Saint, Saint, Saint. Saint est le Seigneur, Dieu Tout-Puissant. Et toute la terre est remplie de sa gloire. Et Apocalypse chapitre 4, verset 8, il dit, chacun des 4 êtres vivants avait 6 ailes et était couvert d'yeux partout, même sous ses ailes. Jour et nuit ne cessent de dire, Saint, Saint, Saint est le Seigneur Dieu Tout-Puissant, qui était, qui est et qui vient. Alors le Seigneur purge les cœurs. Il est maintenant en train de nettoyer les cœurs des hommes et il enlève l'apostasie de l'Église et établit un réveil dans le cœur de l'Église. Il est en train de rallumer le feu. Il est en train de raviver le feu. Il est en train d'attiser le feu pour que le feu puisse monter dans une grande flamme et que le dernier réveil du Seigneur, c'est pourquoi il lève les paralytiques pour que votre cœur soit allumé, pour que votre salut soit embrasé et que les langues de feu puissent sortir. Les flammes de feu puissent sortir de vos cœurs. Pour que vous soyez l'Église enflammée, l'Église en feu, l'Église dans les flammes du Saint-Esprit. Le Messie vient Et il dit,
the pure in heart.
les purs de cœur. Pourquoi?
Because in Isaiah 6:3 you say, holy. You saw holy. Holy 3 times holy is the Lord.
Parce que dans Isaïe 6:3, vous avez vu saint. Saint. 3 fois saint est le Seigneur.
And also in the book of Revelation chapter 4 verse 8.
Et aussi dans le livre d'Apocalypse chapitre 4 verset 8.
The imperceptible holiness of God.
Célébrant l'imperceptible sainteté de Dieu. Le Messie vient.
We'll see you on Friday. The Lord bless you.
Que le Seigneur vous bénisse. Leitraot. Shalom Toda. Leitraot.